Welcome back to the West Sussex Youth Cabinet podcast. Today's episode focuses on female safety.
Hello, my name is Maya and I represent the constituency of Haywards Heath.
Hi, my name is Lola and I represent the constituency of Horsham.
And we are here today to talk about female safety. So, part of the West Sussex Youth Cabinet, we have a campaign called Youth Safety, and we have four main focuses that we're going to focus on for the next 2 years. Two of them are which youth crime and youth safety.
And vulnerable youth and also female safety. So regarding female safety, should we talk more about that?
Yes. So last month we went doing natural interviews around Crawley, and we asked a young girl about female safety, and here are some of her answers. So we asked her the question, what can girls do to stay safe when they're walking alone? And she gave the answers, have phones on them so they can call for help.
Yeah, which I really think was a really good idea from her. I mean, this girl was only quite young, but I thought it was a really good idea of what she said, because I don't know about you, but I've always had growing up, my mum made remember her phone number.
Yeah, numbers memorised, yeah.
Yeah, so that I could always call her. And I do have actually quite a few of my friends, parents in my phone. I don't know why, but I've got quite a few. So if their phone dies or, I've always got something.
And also the emergency contact feature on phone is really helpful.
I feel like so many people don't know how to use it, but it's so easy to use.
Yeah, I really
do like
straight
it. Away. Another question that we asked this girl was, how can friends keep each other safe? Which was having parents in their contact books and remembering a phone number, which is what we were just talking about.
Yeah, and then again, that is really important, because if you know your friend's in trouble, regardless if they want help or not, you can still contact their parents to seek help.
Yeah.
And one other question was, why is it important to speak up if they're feeling unsafe? And the answer that she gave was, it will help other girls know that they are not alone. I personally think that is even though it sounds very vague, it's still very powerful.
Yeah, I agree as well. Although it is quite a small little answer, I feel like it just sums it up perfectly, because there's so many girls that we know, and from own personal experience, there's so many girls that have a personal experience of where they felt unsafe.
Yeah.
Walking around or just doing, going out their day-to-day lives. There's so many people that have stories, which is the sad truth, to be fair.
Yeah, it is very sad truth. Is there an example that you would like to share?
Oh, should we do a little story time?
Yeah.
We'll do a little story time. It's just that those kind of stories always happen. I've got so many examples of when I've had people touch me inappropriately or try to without my consent, and it's just why do men feel that's okay to do if we don't want that? I just think it's a really ridiculous world that we live in now.
Yeah, 100%.
What about you?
Okay, I have a few stories, but I'll sum it down to one in a bit. So it was actually on my birthday this year. I turned 15. Ooh. Thank you. And I was out shopping because I needed to get a few bits. And I went to a bus stop to go home, obviously. And there were these two men that were stood behind me. One looked about 25, pushing 30. The other one looked about, he could be the same age as my granddad. He looked about 70. I can say that right.
He's an old man.
He's an old man.
You can say that.
Okay. And then I was just waiting patiently. I had my headphones in my head. And normally when I wait in public places, I always look around to see if anyone's looking a little bit iffy.
Yeah, and I always have one headphone out. The thing is though, I think it's sad that we have to do that. Walking around with the little key in the finger, having a headphone out. I just think that's so sad that we actually have to do that.
Yeah. And I had one ear was on and the other ear was off. And then I saw them in the corner of my eye because they were obviously behind me. I saw them approach me. So I was like, what is about to happen? What is going on?
It's so scary.
It is very scary.
You can't predict other people's behaviour, especially when you're out and you're by yourself as well.
You've got to prepare yourself for the worst, and I feel that's not something that we should feel obligated to do anyway.
Preparing yourself for the worst as well. It's just when these kind of things happen, all of these things go on in your head, you're what if this happens to me? What if this happens? The fact that we even have to think of that,
exactly,
I just think that's wrong.
As soon as I saw them walk to me, fight or flight,
run away, mate, I'm not getting this bus.
I froze at the same time because my bus was in a few minutes and I wanted to get home. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna firm it. So they came up to me eventually And the young man, he was like, oh, like, how old are you? I was about to say 14, but I turned 15 that day. So I was like, oh, I'm 15 years old. And then the man, like the older man sort of like looked shocked. And then the younger man was like, oh, okay, then like, don't worry, like, sorry. And then I was like, you're not going to come here and ask me a question when if I don't know why you're going to ask me the question. Like, I don't care who you are. So I was like, wait, but like, why did you ask? Like, why do you really care so much? Like, I don't know who you are. And then he was like, oh yeah, like I thought that like you were really attractive and I wanted to have sex with you. So I was a bit like
this like old looking man as well, like come
exactly
on, what?
I was a bit like, wow. And then I was literally praying for my bus to come. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, just sit there and wait, like, please, like. And then the bus came eventually, and like I did not know who's call. I called my sister, was like, please, like, you need to understand what on earth went on. And she's like, that's not acceptable. Like I know they don't know, but especially on your birthday, like, that's like not a birthday you want to ever remember. And I was like, of course, yeah, I know that. And like I feel it's like very strange that like it's not even just men as well. Like, there's obviously like females as well.
And this happens to men as well. Like we're not like
to put it out there. This happens to men as well, and regardless, it's unacceptable. So I feel like for me personally, I don't like how people feel obligated to say something when their opinion doesn't matter. Like, if I
what difference does that make to your day? That just makes you feel worse. It doesn't make you feel any better. It doesn't make you feel uplifted.
Like, if anything, I didn't ask, so I don't really care.
Yeah, and it also just makes you feel, especially when it's from like somebody so much older, it makes you feel dirty. Like, it makes you feel
it makes you feel disgusting.
It makes you feel disgusting. Like,
exactly.
The thing is, it's like people thinking that it's some kind of compliment and that I'm gonna like it and like that's gonna make me happy. Like, no.
But like, you're not gonna like it, and like we aren't gonna like it, and I don't understand like how much does it take for you to finally hear us and for like everyone to finally listen that like we don't like it at all. And like I'm saying we as a collective, I'm saying we as females and males, because at the same time it happens to everyone. Like, it's just life.
I mean, the thing is, the fact that like I could so easily think of so many different like stories and occasions where I've been followed home, like I've been like catcalled, I've been looked at, like there's so many occasions where that has happened, and it's too many to count. It's
sad.
Yeah,
it's sad that there's even one occasion, let alone too many to count. Like, it shouldn't happen to anyone, and especially that this was like from a young age as well. Like, obviously I'm 16 years old now, so I feel like I kind of handle things a lot differently, but when I was like, this started happening like when we were like 12, when we were 13, like exactly,
there's so many like incidents like this that happen from such a young age. Like a young girl should never have to go through that.
And talking about it and overcoming it, I feel like for me personally, during that experience, I was talking about it to others, and other people were reassuring me that like it's okay to talk about these things to people that you trust, because I've learned like the hard way and the easy way that like you're not going to get the help that you need unless you talk to people.
Yeah, 100%.
Because people can't read minds. Like, we're not part of the Marvel series. It's not going to happen. But like, you need to learn to talk to other people, and so not even like opening up, like, because I understand people do struggle with that, but it's normalizing talking to other people.
What happened to me felt so minor, but when I tell other people about it, they're like, what, that's actually like quite a huge deal, like that's really wrong. And the thing is, it's sad that we have to kind of belittle ourselves and make things seem less than it should be, because it's so normalized now that it's just like, oh, like a woman should expect that, like, or even, oh, you're dressed like that, you should expect that. Like, we get these comments from our mums, we get these comments from our parents telling us, oh, like, you should expect people to look at you if you're wearing that. Like, come on, like from my own mum.
In a world like this, like,
yeah, exactly.
But then also you need to remember that like no matter how small the incident is, it's always going to be valid, and that like you're never alone in the world. Because I feel like once something like that starts happening to people, they feel like they have no one to talk to, they feel like no one will believe them, or they feel like that like their incident isn't enough for them to speak on it and to get like a valid reassurance out of people. I
mean, like, ever since like I was little, I've always like had this like kind of toxic thing going on in my head that's like, oh, someone's already had it worse, like there's always somebody in the world that has it worse. But maybe there are, but what happens to you is valid, and it's okay to talk about something with somebody else, no matter how like minor it is.
100%.
Like, if that thing has upset you, and if you felt unsafe, and if something happened, you have every single right to talk to somebody else about it, no matter how small it is.
Exactly. And always remember that there are numbers to call if you feel unsafe in public.
Anyways, I think we're going to come to a bit of a conclusion. So we'll hopefully be bringing out these podcasts once a month. So we really hope you enjoyed, and we hope that you join us next month.
And on happy ending, be safe and be seen. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you are ever in need of help or are feeling unsafe, then do contact an organisation like Strut Safe on 0333 335 0026 or the police through the non-emergency number 101. If you have been affected by any of the content of today's podcast, support can be found through organisations such as West Sussex Mind or the Youth Emotional Support Service.